Hi! In this video, you will see an example of the Magic BMJ Rapid Recommendations guideline, which includes links and widgets. You will see how to create links for your guidelines, sections, and recommendations, and how to create widgets for recommendations and picos. Let's begin. In MAGICapp, this is a whole guideline. There are guideline sections, guideline recommendations, and picos. A link is simply a hyperlink that can be used anywhere in your dissemination, such as a website or a journal article, which you can create for the whole guideline sections, recommendations, and picos, and the link will take you to the content in MAGICapp. A widget is a standalone element that can be integrated on any website as a pop-up or embedded as interactive view, identical to how it appears in your guideline, which you can create for recommendations and picos. Here's an example of the BMJ Rapid Recommendations Guideline on arthroscopic surgery for degenerative knee disease. This is an infographic that contains a shortened version of the summary of findings table. Widgets are a way to disseminate recommendations or evidence profiles by creating pop-ups or embedding content in their websites. If you click this link, you get a widget, which is a pop-up of the evidence profile that has all the key outcomes and additional information in the summary of findings table. There's also a link that will take you to the guideline in MAGICapp itself. Keep in mind that you do not need to have special permissions to link to any published content. Anyone can create links and widgets. Now, to create these links and widgets, the guideline I will be showing you is the BMJ Rapid Recs on arthroscopic surgery for degenerative knee disease. You can create hyperlinks for guidelines, sections, recommendations, and evidence profiles. If you click the exclamation icon and then version history and subscription, you can get links to the always published version of the guideline or the permanent link. This contains letters and numbers. You can also link to any of the previous versions of the guideline by accessing them here. You will first get a pop-up that says that the version you're trying to reach is out of date and whether or not you want to go to the newest version of the guideline. You can say no here. You will get this red label with the date it was published and the number of the version. However, notice that you can actually get hyperlinks to all of the content within the guideline specific to this version. Let's go back to our current guideline. To link to sections, you can click the little paperclip icon here. Once again, there's a link that always takes users to the most recent version that includes numbers and letters, and a link to the specific version, which is always just going to be a number. You can copy either of the links and use them in your dissemination. When it comes to the recommendations, there are some additional options. When you click the exclamation icon, you get the links and widgets option and the following pop-up. As with the guideline and the sections, you can always get the link to the most recent version or to the specific version. You have some additional content. You can decide if you want to have a widget. The widget is essentially that recommendation box with all of the associated content. You can have all the tabs closed or one of the tabs open, and you can decide if you're going to have always the most recent published version or the specific version. Additional elements that you can include in that widget are the organization name and logo, the guideline name, and a link back to the guideline itself. The widget can be embedded into your content on a web page as a pop-up window like I show you with the BMJ Rapid Recommendations Pico pop-up, or you can have a link that opens the recommendation in a new browser window. Click Preview Widget and then click Show or View in a pop-up to see what the widget would look like. This widget has the tabs closed. You can click through each one of the tabs to look through the content. You have the guideline name, the organization that published it, the logo, version number, the date it was published, the section number that is located in, and a link back to the original guideline. You can similarly get widgets for evidence profiles. However, the evidence tab is only visible to authors and admins, so this is not something that the public can create. To create a widget, click this little paperclip icon, and then you can decide if you want to have the Pico open exposing the summary findings table or if it's going to be closed. Again, you can decide if you're going to show the most recently published version or the specific version. You can also embed the content on a web page, in a pop-up window, or view it in a separate window. Click Preview Widget, then Show to get a glimpse of how the widget looks, and you can click through the content. Just keep in mind that for the Pico widget links, we don't reference back to the guideline that it came from, so just be cautious that if you're linking to a previous version of the content, you write that somewhere. Note that if you're creating widgets for a draft guideline, they will only be active once you publish. I've demonstrated the options of how to create links and widgets on a published guideline, but I just wanted to show you how you can create it on a draft guideline. In the draft, for the sections widgets, you can open the sections menu here. For the recommendations, the links and widgets are under the options menu here. And for the Picos, under the evidence tab, you can find the links and widgets under the options menu. Visit our knowledge base to learn more.